Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. How are you today? Fine, I hope. I want to speak to you today because I got a headache. I am going through some trying times. I've lived a very long time, and our country is going through a bellyache. And I thought we had kind of overcome this, but we haven't overcome a thing. The truth of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, this is some rough stuff. Things we've gone through, it seems like it's back again. Maybe this happens when you're going to try to recreate what you used to have. Things that people gave their lives and fought against and stood against to make changes. And yet, there's somebody saying, I got to get it back for one reason or another. And they're not alone. I made a couple of notes here. You know, I've stated here that I heard it said by people who do checks on the public. They do polls, etc. And they are saying, according to these polls, that the American people have lost trust in government. Can you imagine the American people have lost trust in government? Well, on the one hand, you got people who want government out of the lives of people. On the other hand, you got people say if you take the government out, they would screw us to death. If you take the government out, they would do us like they did the natives. Those are people of color speaking. If you took government out, they'd do us like they did the slaves. So we need the protection of government to protect us from the vicious cycle of the people and their mentality who think that they're superior and they should own everything. So the people have lost trust in it because you got some strange things going on right now. They've lost trust in law enforcement. You got law enforcement to serve and protect, and they probably do that for a lot of people, but for some people, Lord have mercy, don't call the cops. Because if you call the cops, there's going to be some vicious activity here today. And chances are, if it's a people of color, somebody is going to die. So they don't have trust in law enforcement. They don't have trust in the church. They had heard that the church was wanting to educate them about the spirit of love, about God, and how to treat people. Only to find out that in the church, it seems like today, they are putting up with everything. Doesn't matter. All they want is to have more members in the church, more members committed to paying tithes and offerings, and people being quiet about everything else. Not only that, they got the church that's engaging themselves in the same things that's happening in the world. They are there committing adultery, prostituting, and you got certain segments of it, homosexuality. So you ask yourselves, what in the world is going on? What do you do in a situation like this? When those institutions that you have held on as being guideposts, and then you lose all your faith in them. What do you turn to? Well, you ask yourself, what's happening? What you have happening, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, and I think it's backed up by many facts, is that evil is trumping to destroy any measure of goodness and institute evil in its place. The evidence is in the lies that comes out of the president's mouth, while evil supporters can't or refuse to see these statements as lies. This is evil. So it seems that if what's going on trumps, and I'm talking about the activities of the people that supports it, is all about evil. How can you say you can stand up and tell the American people that we're going to build this wall and Mexico is going to pay for it? And you have the people chanting, build that wall. And if he asks, who going to pay for it? Mexico going to pay for the wall. And then he comes back later and says, I never said that Mexico was going to pay for the wall. And the people who were chanting the same things he was saying back him up as if he didn't say it. Or if he said it, he was just playing. But he's not playing when you talk about get the American people to do it. This stuff is all about those that got and those that don't have. Let me say this to you again, ladies and gentlemen. Those that got and those that don't have. Those that got, what do they do with what they got? Anything they want to. First of all, they want to make sure they got all the food, clothing, and shelter they need, and they want to do it in style. Big style, the best that's out there, that's what they want. They also want unlimited, unrestricted education for themselves and anybody that's associated with them or their desires. They also want unlimited health care from the womb to the tomb. That's what them that got can champion. That's what they can do because they got. And they also want to stay in control. They want to be the superior. They want to be the ruler, so that's their job. This is what them that got want to do. Now, them that don't got understand that the reason that they don't got is because them that got stole, took, deceived, connived, did everything they possibly could to take from them, just as that which is happening in Washington today. Those people who are going to work, getting their checks, being able to pay their bills, whether you're politicians or just the general public, you see what's happening to these other people that's happening because of government. But because of your stance, whether you're with the haves or whether you're with the have-nots, you can't move. You're stuck. When it seems that everybody outside of those people in power should be standing up and making sure that not another day pass, not one more day pass, that these people who work don't get paid. Not another day. That is the duty of people who got compassion. That is the duty of people who care. But there, though, I know you say you care, but you're sitting at home talking about, you don't believe this is happening. Folks, it's happening. It's happening. And just like it's happening to these people here, tomorrow it could be happening to you. So why would you want to wait around until it happens to you when you can stand up today and support righteousness today? If you're in government, why can't you stand up and do the right things? I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. Why you can't do the right thing? And if you're in law enforcement, why can't you do the right thing? Why can't you do the right thing regardless of what's being held up as what the order? Why can't you do the right thing? And if you're the church, why can't you stand up and do the right thing? And all of those of you who are separated from these institutions, you know what you would want. You don't never want to be left out. Not a single person on earth want to be left out. I don't care what these conservatives say. I don't care what these Trumpers say. The Trumpers didn't make the food. They took over. They can't do anything that the Creator God did not prepare that it be done. What's going on in America? What's going on in this world today? You know, I have no problem with celebrating Christmas. I have no problem with all that and what it's all about. I also am for the celebration of the birth of Jesus, which means do the business that Jesus was doing. The celebration of Dr. King, which supposedly was happening yesterday. I got no problem with that. But do the work that he died for. The current celebration process is an affront to Jesus and King. The murderers of Jesus and King celebrates. They laugh at all you do. And they call it a fake front that you care. So, at the celebration of the mighty works, you choose to, the mighty works of Jesus, the mighty works of King, you choose to party, to dance, to drink, to eat meals and laugh, while the work of the champions is left unfinished. When your work is incomplete and others choose to celebrate and party, leaving the work undone, will you be impressed? I think not. There is nothing so vicious as abuse of people and killing. So when you say, well, Dr. King was this wonderful man who opened up all these doors, and you get together and have a big breakfast. I'm sure you have breakfasts all over the country. And all the people come in, and you bring the children in and let them break dance or whatever, or let a few guys make some speeches or some poetry, and a few politicians speak in line with what King was about, and then the party's over. So you go back to your constituents and say that you're standing up representing something. You go back perhaps to your jobs and spend a few minutes reflecting on what has taken place today, and then you're back on the routine. But you call yourself celebrating. This man gave his life. For what? For the rights of people, not just voting rights, not just to get a job, but to be able to enjoy the life that God has made, and to allow no one to prevent that you would stand together and say we will all enjoy life, or we will none of us will enjoy life. His death means that that's exactly what he meant. He knew he was going to be killed. He could have stopped any day. Malcolm X, he knew he was going to be killed, but there was something so precious about the truth that he was willing to lie down his life, and we celebrate. The most one of all, some people don't believe they ever existed, was Jesus Christ. And he said in that story that I don't care how big the Lincoln Continentals are, I don't care how wonderful the houses and the mansions are, I don't care how big your bank account can possibly be. I don't care how many women can love you if you're a man, or how many men can love you if you're a woman, and how you don't have to suffer for anything. If it got to come by me being obedient to you, by getting some for those that won't and taking from those that don't have, Jesus said, I'd rather die. And so he did. That's the way the story goes. Now, you might not believe that, but if you can't believe that, you can definitely believe about Dr. King. If you can't believe that, you can definitely believe about Malcolm X. If you can't believe that, you can definitely believe it about others, so many others. They laid down their lives, and you've come this far because of what they've done. Now you've been sitting on your butt doing nothing, and it has all come back, and right now we're in a position. So our worst enemies, Russia, China, North Korea, all these people can be gauging right now, deciding to come against you, while some turkey who cares nothing about anybody but himself have got you at a standstill. You Republicans, you Democrats, how do you feel? Do you feel you think you're important? You are at a standstill. You got to take this thing forward by going above this evil, this deception, this low down, dirty, hateful stuff. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. But I guarantee you, when you once stand up for what is absolutely right, the people who, and everybody knows what's right, even those turkeys that's taking everything you got. You'll be surprised how the spirit of love and compassion will move into people if they see it. I'm sitting here thinking about every day now how healthcare is being denied so many people. And I've gotten to the age where I have problems all the time. As I said, I went to the doctor the other day and found out my copayment's gone up. I was having a problem before. Now it's gone up. Medicine costs gone up. Everything gone up. In my retirement pay, I think I got about $6 or $7 a month increase. It won't even pay for the gas. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you this. We are not acting like people who are led by love. I don't care what side of the fence we're on. We are acting like people who are demonic. So I say to you, what does it mean if I wanted to tell you about the actions of love? The actions of love mean that you would not put up with stuff that doesn't work for everybody. Now, I realize that some people have taken everything. They've lied, they've cheated, and they've stolen, they've killed. And they are afraid that if they don't keep that posture, somebody is going to come back and do the same thing to them that they did to others. And right now, they have opened the door for that to happen. But not from those that they did it to, but from others outside. Russia, China, North Korea, other powers that can't stand America because of what America has been in their sight. Doors wide open. While we sitting around here arguing, acting like stupid kids, acting like, can you imagine what it's like? You don't have to imagine. Turn on your television. You don't have to imagine. Go to your schools. You don't have to imagine. Go out in the streets. Go to the market. You can see what's going on. People don't give a darn about one another. They do not give a darn about one another. And I've called those people who are reporting the news, who are constantly, every day I hear them repeating these same old stupid things. If what you're saying is true, if it means something to you, say what you got to say on those microphones and come down there and join with the people and say, together we're going to fix this matter and we're not going to stop until it's done. And what fix this matter mean? It means you're going to be satisfied and you're going to be satisfied and you're going to be satisfied. And the satisfaction means you want to see somebody stomp down, brother, you get the hell out of here, because it ain't happening. It's amazing, ladies and gentlemen, that we have to go through these kinds of things, but we do go through these kinds of things. I have said, and I will say again, that you got something happening in the United States for the next presidential election that happened a few years ago. The Republicans were so upset with what they had seen that everybody wanted to jump in and say, I got something better. And they try to point out the shortcomings and the failures of individuals to make themselves look good. And I'm sure there will be no different this term when the Democrats got all of these people said, we got to stand against Trump and my idea against Trump is better than your idea. And when you get all these people out there, I guarantee you every last one of them got something substantial that justifies them standing out there against what they have known or what we have received over the past few years. But I can guarantee you this also. Neither one of them have a solution to the problem. I guarantee my life on it. I guarantee you my life. Not one Democrat, not one Republican out there in Congress or anybody trying to get there got one idea how to fix this thing. Peace and prosperity and joy of life for everybody. Nobody's suffering from a lack of food, lack of shelter, lack of education, lack of health care, lack of a job. There's not one soul out there that's added themselves to this political campaign got any idea how to achieve that. Now, I say that because I've been blessed. I paid the price of life. And I can tell you, and I do tell you all the time, just how to do it. You're not listening. You don't want to listen. You don't even want to hear anybody talking about fixing the problem, because fixing the problem means messing it up for you. And if I can't mess it up for you, I can't be good. But I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I'll admit this. Out of most of the candidates that's running for office, whether Republican and Democrat, every last one of them, probably so much smarter than me, is absolutely pathetic. I'm not saying that every last one of them, but I guarantee you so many of them are so much smarter than me. But it doesn't matter. Not a single one, I repeat, know how to bring peace. Don't even know how to approach prosperity for everybody. But I do. And since I am the one that knows, and you don't have to, I'm not trying to tell you to pick me, because there might be somebody else out there that's not in government that knows just like I do. So what I would say to you, ladies and gentlemen, a person like me who knows how to get down that path, one thing he knows is if he's not smart enough, that those people out there that are smarter than me, yeah, they got the smarts, but they need to be led down the path that leads to peace and prosperity and joy for everybody else. They can't do it. But if you lead them down that path, they can show you how to get through every hurdle. They can show you how to get over every hump. Why? Because they just that smart. The fact that they're not there now isn't because they're smart. They just don't know the path. They're sticking to what they do know. They've learned the law. They've been educated by the system. But how and what system have ever told them that everybody should have peace? That everybody should experience peace and be prosperous? That Constitution might make a statement like that, but what does it know? It never experienced that. So, when I think about, they say Jesus never wrote one word. I'm making sure that when I get out of this baby, you might not have listened to one thing I said, but I'm leaving a lot of talking and a lot of writing here. You won't ever say Eddie Marcus didn't do something. I said something. I stood for something. I've been to jails. I've been to prison. I went on the internet the other day just to do a little research. Ran across something about how you know, we are so technologically advanced today that this particular agencies knows everything about almost everybody on earth. They got records on you and everything you've been doing. That's probably why you find people in Congress submitting themselves to people that they said they couldn't stand. It's because they can be exposed. But one thing about it, ladies and gentlemen, once you have been forgiven for your evils, once you have been given for your stupidity, they can't hold it against you anymore. They can try, but it won't take away your freedom. It won't take away your joy. It won't take away your truth. I was looking on that thing. I've done a lot. I told you I used to work for the devil. And I was looking to see if they had all the things that I had done for the devil. I couldn't get a chance to go through that thing because I think they're going to end up trying to ask you for some money to get the finished product. I ain't got no money to be wasted on that. I know who I am. I know what I've done, and I know what I can do. And so I left that alone. But I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, right now, you think that this is about Trump. Trump is a figurehead. He's playing the most major part in it. You might think this is about hate groups. Well, they are playing a major part in it too. You might think that this is about split with the Republican Party. Yeah, they got their own stance. Democrats got their own stance. But it's bigger than that, ladies and gentlemen. It's much bigger than that. This is a fight about the spiritual powers. The spiritual powers. It is the spirit that makes a man know the difference between right and wrong. It is the spirit that makes a man know it's good. It is the spirit that makes a man choose evil. A spirit. When you see Donald Trump, yes, he represents evil, but he's just like you. He's just allowed the spirit of evil to come into him and dictate who and what he is about. And those who are walking down that same path are doing the same identical thing. And those who are walking on the opposite end, they would be doing something that's totally different. And what they are doing, you can tell, my friends, that it'll be magnificent if they were real. Because they would be gunned at. They wouldn't just be trying to put them down. They would be trying to take them out. To kill them. And one thing about it, they don't want to die just like anybody else want to live. But before they turn into a snake, before they turn into a demon, they'll laugh at your death threat. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so very much for giving me this your time once again. This is Eddie Marcus. And let me tell you one more thing before I close. We're talking about these shithouse countries. We're talking about these people of color who suffer so much and you don't want to have anything to do with them. You just want the best to come here. Boy, I wouldn't even let nobody hear me say that. Those people who have been robbed, not basically by you. You probably weren't even here. But generations before, those people who are suffering. Yes, I speak to you about making America divine, to as in heaven, so on earth. But I don't just speak about that for America. I speak about that for South America. I speak about that for all over the country, especially where people are suffering. What I want for America, what I want for you, my brothers and sisters, what I want for you, my wife and my children. I want that same peace and love and joy for every human being on earth. And I am not going to start smiling and sitting down and think things are all right until I get it. And you can call me a fool if you want to. I'll be a fool for righteousness. I'll be a fool for justice. I'll be a fool for love. And I'll do it gladly. I fuss a lot. You might think I'm fussing right now, but sometimes you just got to raise your voice because they can't hear that quiet stuff. Yes, but if I have to live in this life and go down with all those dreams that I've had, how wonderful life can be, and I have to end up suffering myself like a rat that's been stepped on by a cat and smelled and ignored by a dog, been stinking out there for weeks. I'll do it gladly because of what I know. And I'll do it over and over and over again before I become a snake. Bye-bye.